Hey, welcome to our show. Our show is called Goose in the Wild, and we've got a very special guest here today. He's came all the way down from Kearns. For you guys that don't know where Kearns is, it's on the west side of Salt Lake. And our guest today is Coach Kenyon Clark. And the first thing I want to let you know is I appreciate you coming down.
Well, I appreciate that, Goose. Freeway was a little bit stacked, but I made it okay.
By the way, folks, our show today, our theme is tracking. What are we going to be tracking? We're going to be tracking the elusive cougar. And we're going to ask Coach right now how he got started with this tracking business and what qualities and characteristics does a good tracker have to have.
Well, I'm telling you, Goose, the first thing he's got to have instinct. And I'm a country boy. I haven't lived in Salt Lake area too long, but I grew up in the front seat of a pickup. Shotgun seat, I guess, is what we used to call it when we were kids.
Was that on the passenger side?
That's on the passenger side. Okay. And my dad took me everywhere in the mountains, and he taught me the different things that a tracker needs to know. First of all, you got to be able to recognize the track itself and the size, the shape of a track, whether it has retractable claws, the animal that you're going after, whether the claws are out all the time, the shape. There's just a lot of different things, how much they impress into the soil, dry soil, wet soil, to tell how big the animal is. You need to get down on the ground and smell a little bit. You got to have a good nose, and I was born with a good nose.
And you told me earlier when we were shooting the footage that you got to be able to get your ear down close to the ground. Now, why is that a key quality?
Well, you need to get down so that you can hear, because a lot of times you can't see an animal, but you can hear it. And sometimes you can get close enough you can actually smell it. And for an example, if you're tracking a deer is only about this tall. And if you're standing up, a lot of times you're not going to be able to see it. You need to get down on his level and get down and go through those, usually oak. That's where they like to get lost, is in that oak. And you got to get right down with them and look for some good sign and look for some scat on the ground and see how fresh it is.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned just earlier, our topic today is tracking the elusive cougar. Now, in the state, I can think of the Union High cougar, the BYU cougar, and the Kearns cougar. Do you have an opinion on those three cougars that we're going to be tracking?
Well, actually, the Kearns cougar is probably a lot stronger cougar than those other two. There's different genus and different species of the Felis concolor, and we've got the truest and the best and the strongest cougar there right at Kearns High School.
Now, you told me that the cougar has how many on his front and how many on his back?
Well, he's got 5 toes on the front.
Toes, okay.
4 on the back, and then the reason there's a 5th toe on the front, it's what's called a killer claw. It's a recessed claw up on kind of like where your wrist would be. Mm-hmm. And when he gets over the top of a deer, he just takes that and just slices that deer's throat, and it's going to be a quick kill.
All right, so we've went to the field, we've took some pictures, and right now we're going to go to the footage, and we're going to show our viewing audience, first of all, the bullpen. Can you tell the people about the dirt and how much it cost and all that?
Well, the dirt on our field is actually what you would call man-made dirt.
Synthetic?
Synthetic, yeah, it actually is. It's decomposed granite, and then they add a polymer, which is plastic, and then they dye it red. So it's basically plastic dirt. And it was $66,000 for the infield dirt, plus the warning track, and then the bullpen.
Holy smoke.
And it's very resistant to water. Water doesn't penetrate it. Water just runs off of it. So as the groundskeeper there, never has to deal with mud.
And see, we've got a picture of that, so we're going to show the people that right now.
It's actually synthetic dirt. It's man-made, and it doesn't absorb water. And sometimes when I water, that cougar comes out and hunting for water. He hasn't been had any water for a couple of days. Why don't we put some down, and I'll show you. He might even come in and drink some of this water. I'll just show you here. That water. just stays right on top. You don't even make mud. You might come in here and lick that up. I never have to deal with mud.
All right, so as you can see, you just ran your finger through that puddle of water, and you're right, Coach. No mud. It just ran off like off a goose's back.
Well, duck's back maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll run off a goose's back too.
Yeah, it probably would. It's great dirt, and it makes for a great field.
All right, and now we're going to slip on over to the scoreboard. Can you tell the people a little bit about that old-time scoreboard?
Well, the gentleman that donated the money for this field asked that we put up this scoreboard. It's like the one in Wrigley Field. Someone has to walk on it, and then they have to put the numbers up.
Oh, like at Fenway?
Or I'm sorry, Fenway. Did I? Yeah.
You said Wrigley, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's like at Fenway.
The Green Monster.
Yeah, the Green Monster.
This is our scoreboard, George, and gosh, this is the best view of the park, I guess. And maybe if we get a chance to see the whole view, maybe we can see where that cougar's been. He might hang out up in the stadium up here somewhere. Sometimes he goes up on the berm. He's got cover up there in the trees, but he likes to come out here and hunt through the grass and look for food. Sometimes, he gets a hold of a Granger Lancer or a Cypress Pirate, maybe sometimes even a Taylorsville Warrior. Boy, he loves to eat those Taylorsville Warriors.
What about them Spanish Fort Dawn?
No, we don't want anything to do with them. They don't taste very good. They're sour.
Okay, all right. We're going to go. We're still trying to find that elusive cougar, so we're going to keep moving, folks. As you can see, this is their scoreboard from the front view.
It's a great scoreboard, and it's a lot of fun to have that out there.
Now, we seen some tracks kind of slip up the stairs there, but they didn't last long. Why is that?
Well, he goes up there to shade up.
Oh.
And then he can get a good view sitting on, or he kind of lays out on that back seat, and then he can look out over the whole field and watch the kids play.
So that's why we've seen a couple of tracks there.
That's right.
I got you. All right, and then I noticed that there was a couple of tracks in the press area.
Well, this is really the cougar's lair. We call it the press area, but it's actually the cougar den, I guess you might say. But actually, this is where we do all of the announcing and everything for the games that we have here. But he likes it because it's a nice, cool area. It's kind of like a cave. So he likes to come in here and cool off.
Cougars are basically solitary animals?
Yeah, they basically are. They don't like to be around man too much. They definitely will hide from us, and they're hard to find. You've got to be a good tracker to get a cougar.
Okay, now we're going to slip into this long, spacious area. And can you tell the people what that long, spacious area of the field would be?
This is the back. I call it the breezeway. This is right behind the bleachers, and this is kind of a breezeway, and it's just the overhang from the roof on the stadium. And we've put a long seat along here, so if people want to stop and visit, it's very comfortable just to sit back there and sometimes just go back and get something from the snack bar and just sit down. But it's just a breezeway that we have there behind the stadium.
All right, folks, we're in a new location. As you can see, it says visitors. I'm trying to figure out, asking the coach here, are these cougars only visitors? Do they only come and then they leave, or are there some hometown cougars?
You know, we have hometown cougars here. Most of them are pretty tame, and once in a while we get a mean one, but most of the time they're pretty tame. We've only lost a couple of young kids up here from cougars falling.
And I noticed this is a real long area, pretty spacious, that a cougar can get away real easily.
Yeah, they can run right down through here and get behind those trees and climb a tree and jump over the fence. They'll be gone before we're even close to them.
Well, I couldn't believe the spaciousness of the, I guess they're called the dugouts.
Oh yeah, the dugouts are they're just huge, and it's great because the teams aren't jammed in there, and they can keep their equipment underneath the seating area there, and then they can sit on the back side of the seat and take a look at watch the game, or they can stand up and look over the fence.
We've tracked the cougar into this area, huge area. It's long and it's narrow, and there's a sign here that says, absolutely no sunflower seeds on field or warning track. Coach, does the cougars like sunflower seeds?
You know, I've never seen a cougar eat sunflower seeds, but we got some knothead baseball players that think it's part of the baseball game, but it's really not. And it makes a mess out here on the field, and where I'm usually the only one that is here to clean up, it takes more time to clean these up than it does to take care of the rest of the field.
Because of the red dirt and it's so beautiful and pristine, if they start spitting sunflower seeds on it, it just looks terrible, and the groundskeeper gets very upset over that.
And you're the head groundskeeper,
And
right?
I'm the groundskeeper, yeah.
All righty, I know we found a couple of cougar tracks up in the snack bar. All right, folks, we just keep moving, trying to find this cougar. As you can see, 2 more tracks in this area of the facility. I just can't believe, well, now that I think about it, I know why you'd be in here. Look at the goodies.
Yeah.
Got some carbonated drinks.
Now there's actually some been spilled down here just recently. It's still a little sticky. He's definitely been in here. I know the other night we lost all of our jerky. I thought somebody broke in here, but you know what? It might have been that cougar.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I'm going to have to call the police up and tell them that we found the culprit. I thought it was maybe these young kids breaking in here, but I guess it was a cougar.
But what I can't believe is they left the donuts. You know, behind you, they left the donuts.
Yeah.
Cougars don't eat donuts?
No, they don't like donuts. They don't.
What's the deal?
Well, have you ever seen a policeman that was a cougar?
No, I haven't.
I hope those Spanish Fork policemen have a sense of humor while they're down there at the donut shop and, you know, can laugh about this.
They will, because some of them's former baseball players.
Oh, yeah?
So you can't be all mad if you like baseball.
That's right.
Now, what was the thing you was telling me about a former teacher and coach you had there that's from Spanish Fork, and he's the AD now?
Oh, that's so Doug Snell.
Oh.
I'll tell you, he took more breaks for donuts than any teacher I've ever been around. I think he got to be the athletic director from eating donuts.
Oh. All right, we're going to move to the next part of your beautiful field. There's a bunch of net. There's a net hanging up, and I noticed there's a couple of tracks in there on a couple of chairs. We're in another location, as you can see. I've spotted one track, and we're kind of in the caged area here, but I don't see any cougar. So I thought while we were in here, we'd kind of hit a couple of tees. There you go. We've got this fungo here. Oh, I better make sure I hit these. That was a fly ball. That's up the gut. That's up the gut. And that's a grounder. So what have we got here, Coach?
Well, we need a lot of work on your swing, Goose. Actually, we need to get a little bit more, your hand up a little bit higher so we can drive that ball down just a little bit more. You know, you look like you play a little too much golf to me.
No, I don't play golf.
Well,
I don't play golf.
there you get your hands up just a little bit higher.
See, when he says,
And come, oh, that's perfect.
when he says I can't hit, that's a challenge.
One more.
Oh, yeah.
George, if you're going to play, you really need to work on your swing. It's just a little bit deficient. I think you're a better tracker than you are a baseball player.
Hey, we're going to have to take a break right here in our show because Coach, he just dissed on me. He said I'm a better tracker than I am a baseball player. So we're going to have to take a break right here before we start to slug it out. What do you think, Coach?
That sounds okay to me, George.
Okay, we're going to break. We'll be back in a moment.
We are back.
Well, we are back.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess, are you going to take back that comment you made, or what's the deal?
Well, you know, truth is truth.
All right.
I'm just not going to take it back. You need some work.
Okay. All right, we're going to move out to the front part of this beautiful field. I notice it's shaped like Cooperstown in New York. I've never been there. Have you been to Cooperstown?
You know, I haven't. I sent my son and daughter on a vacation back there one time, and they were very impressed with it. Kevin Gates, the man who donated the money for this field, as we got together, he said, I would really like to have the opening to the field look like Cooperstown. And so we designed it exactly the same as Cooperstown, and we had the brick mason put it up, and it's basically a replica of Cooperstown entrance.
And this is where the cougars get in, right here on this main gate. They like to come here through the main gate, get down in there and shade up.
I noticed one had some vandalism. Can you fill the people in on how they're taking care of that brand new park?
You know, we've had very little vandalism. We've had some, but we've been very fortunate. Most of the people in the community, probably 99% of them, are very respectful of the field, and they've really taken good care of the field. But we have had a little bit of vandalism.
I noticed earlier in the taping that you thought, because you followed the tracks in that the cougar that we're looking for went down the berm and jumped over that fence and went towards the front of the building. Do you still believe that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he has. If we haven't seen him out here yet, it looks to me like I saw some indentation in some of the grass areas down through the berm with about the right size to be cougar tracks. I'm almost certain that he's gone up in the front of the school, or maybe even gone in the school to see if he can find something to eat.
It says it's cougar country.
We have a 3-gang mower, a real mower, that costs $24,000. It's an expensive piece of equipment, but it does a great job with the grass.
And that's what you were telling me, that's how you get the checkerboard effect or any other design in the grass, is because it's got the rollers?
Right, it's got the rollers on, and what you do is you just roll the grass in a different direction, and so you get a checkerboard look or diamond look. It depends on how good you are when you get on top of that mower. And being a country boy, I don't do too bad, because I run a plow a few times when I was younger.
So you weren't afraid to work?
Oh, no, I'm not afraid of work. Down where I come from, you either work or
And where's that from,
your
Cole?
dad takes you out behind the woodshed.
Where are you from?
I'm from Parowan, Utah. That's an Indian word. It means dirty water.
Dirty water?
Dirty water, because the waters used to run dirty out of the canyon down there. So the Indian squaws, they didn't like that when they were washing their clothes out on the rocks, and so they called that town Parowan, because the mud runs red out of the creek.
Huh. Now you mentioned Indian squaw. Now you said your wife is part Cherokee?
Yeah, she's part Chiricahua Apache, actually, and she's one of the reasons I married her, is because she was a pretty good tracker. She can spot deer faster than I can out in the mountains, or elk or geese or whatever. She's a great hunting partner because she's got that instinct.
So did any of your kids get any of this tracking gene born into them?
You know, I don't know. I moved to the city, and I'm afraid that we lost that. I just don't think they're going to be trackers.
Wow. Now, you mentioned the grass. Is it Kentucky blue? Can you fill the viewers in on what kind of grass you
Okay,
go?
we've got 20% rye and 80% Kentucky bluegrass. The ryegrass is a little bit faster growing, and the bluegrass is a little bit stronger grass once it's established. Once it becomes more established, it'll crowd the ryegrass out. But most sod growers like to put in a little bit of rye because it grows up a little bit faster, and it shades the Kentucky blue. The ryegrass, though, grows up into one solid clump, where the bluegrass will spread out. So eventually we'll be 100% blue.
And what was that type of grass that you're trying to get out of it?
The grass we've been trying to get out is called Poa Anna. It's a golf course and a baseball field's curse. It it will grow and spread, and it kind of turns yellowish color, and it just does not look good.
Okay, we're going to break. We'll be back in a moment.
I got to remember to call you Goose, though. I keep calling you George.
Now, I know that we've been talking about the grass and showing the viewers this beautiful field, but there's one area I noticed. I noticed that there was a quote by Babe Ruth and a quote by the great Ernie Banks. Why do you have those two guys in quote?
Well, they made some great quotes, and it's just a big part of baseball. If I can quote it, Babe Ruth said, baseball was and is the greatest game ever. And I don't know whether that's exactly it, but that's pretty close. And then Ernie Banks said it's a great day for a baseball game. Let's play two.
Let's play two.
Yep.
All right, so we don't want to get off track, and there's no pun intended there, but we need to keep in pursuit of this elusive cougar. We're continuing to track this elusive cougar. Coach Clark says he can smell him. We're getting that close. He told me to get down like a real tracker would and put my ear to the ground. Oh, I think I can. Coach, I think I can hear that same cougar you were hearing outside. Let's keep moving here.
Boy, look, here's a sign. He dropped something here. Here, look. Oh my gosh, that's a custodial. That's a window cleaner. I wonder if he's got us a custodian and eating them or something.
Wow. Let's hope not.
Holy cow, look over here. There's a pair of pliers. He has eaten a custodian. We've lost a custodian, I'm afraid.
Well, I found out custodians are pretty darn important.
Holy cow, look at that.
A pair of channel locks?
Yeah.
Holy smoke. What did you think had happened?
I'm afraid we've lost a custodian because I think he was supper tonight for that cougar.
You really think that happened? Wow.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. See, because a cougar will just, as soon as they attack and get their prey, they'll eat a little bit, and then they drag the rest of it off, and they'll bury it. They call it a cache. Cache. And they'll put that, and they'll cover it up with leaves, and then they'll come back, maybe 5 or 6 times and finish that meal off, and they'll have a meal for probably about a week. Usually it's a mule deer, but I think we lost a custodian today.
How do you think I've been doing so far?
Well, do I have to be honest with you, Goose?
Yes.
You're not a real quick learner, but I think we're going to get there.
Okay.
One of the things you need to do is just go a little bit slower and listen to the elements. I'm afraid you're a city boy. You're hearing too many things around you that just don't really concern this cougar. We've got to get down, and you've got to get down low, and you've got to listen, and you've got to use the nose, and you've got to use your eyes and observe things, and slow down a little bit, and we'll get that cougar. I guarantee you, if we just focus just a little bit stronger on some of the sign that we've been seeing.
Well, let me try one more lesson. I think we're really close. Holy smoke. There he is. You're right, Coach. There he is. There's our elusive cougar. We've been tracking him for the last hour.
Hey, that's awesome. Look at the size of that thing.
Can you believe the size of that cougar?
Hey, that's a Kearns cougar. I can believe it.
You can believe it.
I can believe it.
Well, folks, we've had a great time here. My wife and I went up to Kearns last week, shot the footage of this beautiful field, and in Coach Clark's opinion, he believes it's the best baseball field in the state of Utah, and you know what? It very well could be. And I know that we've got a great baseball program here in Spanish Fork. We always have, and we always will. Is that right, Coach?
Yeah, they're very competitive. They do a great job down here in Spanish.
So I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about cougars. I've learned a lot about this new baseball field, and hopefully you have too. And as always, Have a great day, and remember, we love you. Catch you next time. This is Goose and my guest, Kenyon Clark, signing off.